Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm excited to share my reactions to this fascinating video about Denmark's forest kindergartens. I've heard a lot about this approach of learning, and in fact I've reacted to a similar video about forest schools in Sweden. And as a Nigerian, it was kind of strange to me, but when I dived into that video, I love the concept. I love that approach of learning because we all know kids tend to learn faster when they explore, when they relate with their environment, with their surroundings. So yeah, and I learned from that video that it's the outdoor learning is good for their physical and mental health, which I liked because of course children, when they have it all figured out physically and mentally, then you know you've solved, like, let's say 80% or 90% of their upbringing. So yeah, I actually love that approach of learning. But as a Nigeria where we have security issues, I shared my thoughts on that video, my fears that most parents will never allow such in Nigeria, considering our security history. I don't know if you guys remember the story of the Chibok girls that were kidnapped in a certain part of Nigeria. Till today, they've not found all those girls. I think some were lucky to have been rescued, but I think 70% of those girls were never found. So you can imagine what comes to the head of a Nigerian parent when they hear forest or outdoor learning. No parents will want to allow that. But then let's check out this video and see what it's all about and how they went about this outdoor learning. Oh, look at that sign. Children need classrooms. They need books and a safe place to learn, of course.
Up there! Up there! Oh my god, they're gonna freeze out here in the forest.
I was very worried about the water.
Once in a while there's a child, I'm freezing.
What did you think when you came from England and you first saw kids playing like this?
It freaked me out. Look at that kid high up there. Kids gone wild. Okay.
Four-year-old Nicola Towns is joining her kindergarten friends in the forest. But they're not on an excursion. This forest is their kindergarten.
Se, her er små troldører, her er også trolde oppe i den her skov. Prøv at se, trolde har taget deres ører af.
Wow, trolls. You mean they are telling these kids that there are trolls in the forest, like, and they are so calm, they are not scared? Because I don't know, trolls are supposed to be scary, right? I know they are giant beings that look scary, right? And these kids, they are so cool, and the fact that the teacher is telling them about the trolls and that they are present in the forest and they are being calm about it means that it shows that they are familiar with these things and they are not scared of them. Wow.
It's freezing today, only 5 degrees.
Oh my god,
Even
I feel
when
like
it's
these
raining,
kids are going
snowing or minus 20 degrees, you'll
like
find these
scary
children
dreams,
playing
this
and
life.
learning outside.
Den der kravler der.
Det er en tusindben.
Så her bor de inde under om vinteren. Så sådan passer insekter på dem selv. De kan bo inde under barken.
It might sound extreme, but it's not unusual in Denmark, where 10% of the preschools, about 500 of them, are forest
Look at those
kindergartens.
inquisitive eyes.
They're run by pedagogues like Johan Leigård, someone with a university degree in human development.
Nej, hvad gør vi så? Hopper I bare ned her, eller hvad? I løber bare.
Children love to explore. You can tell these kids are really, really happy. And one thing about kids that I've noticed, once you give them that freedom, you give them that liberty to explore, you see that they hardly want to do something you don't like. How do I put it? Like if you give a child freedom to explore, to explore his or her surrounding, you'll see that whenever you tell that child, don't do this, don't go here, don't do that, you'll see that they will comply with you more than when you try to restrict them not to go. Like, I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. Like, if you give them that freedom and then tell them the do's and don'ts, where to go and where not to go, you tell them the boundaries, I think they tend to listen more than when you restrict them. Do you get my point? So I kind of love this approach to learning, this outdoor learning. I love it. I love it. Wow, look at them having fun.
You have a lot of visitors come from overseas to see how you do things here. How do they react?
They are thinking, what are we doing? And when do you learn to go to school? And why there is no fence? And wow.
It's important for young children to learn what it is to maybe be cold, what it is to be wet, and survive that. My name's Jane William Sigfridson. I came to Denmark over 20 years ago and was amazed at the outdoor things that young children were doing, and I now live and work here.
Jane's the author of a book on forest education in Denmark. She's brought me to a forest kindergarten near her home outside of Viborg.
He's in the tree, and it's only a very thin sapling tree. It's very, very wobbly. It takes an awful lot of balance to sit in that and use both hands at the same time. In an ordinary playground, they wouldn't have the opportunities to develop those physical skills.
Jane runs outdoor education workshops for teachers and carers from around the world, including Australia. While we've been talking, the kids have moved on to their next activity.
Are you going to tell me this isn't as dangerous as it looks?
No, it's not dangerous. The children have learned how to use the knives properly. So it's not seen as some kind of weapon. It's a tool for doing something, such as whittling. I think many cultures...
These kids are so young, and the way they handle the knife correctly and really shows that they started handling these knives when they were much younger, because this kid doesn't look older than 4 or 5, and look how well he's using the knife. I don't think my 5-year-old will be able to use the knife this good. Wow.
Like to wrap their children up in cotton wool. I don't think that's about a lack of love here for children by their parents. They see it in a different way. That in fact, children should have the chance to be free.
Wow, look at this little explorer.
So what's your approach to safety here?
You have to use your brain.
What? Look at that kid high up there in the tree. Like, it's a very common thing for us here, especially those of us that grew up back home, that grew up in villages. Climbing trees is no big deal at all, but these branches look a bit thin that I'm scared for the kid, because I'm scared he might fall off the tree. But the branches look very thin. Or is it just my eyes? Wow. These kids are really, really brave. Climbing up that high, and he's not scared. Wow.
And if you trust that the kids, they can take care of themselves.
Matty, are you afraid of anything?
The branch is even shaking, like, my God, I'm scared. Wow. Yeah, the branch
I was
is
watching
tiny.
this boy climb to the very top of the tree, other boys hitting the log with the stick very close to each other. I couldn't see you or anyone else.
I was standing up there and I saw it too.
Though I feel the teachers should be closer to the kids so that in case of any fall, they can easily help them. But look at this guy, he's kind of far from the kid climbing up the tree. Do you get? Don't you think is a bit risky? Because those branches are really tiny and they could just cut and the kid will just fall to the ground. So I thought maybe the teachers or the adults with the kids should be closer to them in case of any fall. But that's not the case in this video. I think that's quite risky.
Yes.
You weren't worried?
No. That's a part of the play almost every day. And they learn to be careful.
Wow. But they can never be that careful. Kids can
they
always
got a little accident. But that's the way to learn. Only once I have to drive to the hospital with a boy with a big injury in 17 years. So I'm not worried.
And what was the injury?
It was a parent who drove over a foot of a kid. Bak på her, de skal være sammen ned. Godt, der kommer en pind. Det er godt, Nicolas. Der er en pind bagved dig nu, siger de.
The world's first forest kindergartens were founded in Scandinavia in the early 50s. Today they're also popular in Germany, Austria and Switzerland. Some locations are more challenging than others. Johann's kindergarten sits less than 100 metres from a fjord, but there aren't any fences because they're not needed.
Why do you stop here, Carl?
Wow. You see what I said earlier? When you give children the liberty, the freedom to explore, and you tell them, you explain to them where to go and where not to go, you explain the do's and don'ts to them, you'd see that they tend to be more obedient than when you try to restrict them. When you restrict them, the more you restrict them from being free, you see that they want to know why. They want to know why you're stopping them from doing that. But when you give them the freedom that, okay, you can explore, except for this place, except for that place. Look at this kid now. He was asked why he's not going into the waters or why he's not going beyond this place. And he said they're not allowed to go there. I feel it's because they've been given the freedom to move around the forest, to play around like they've been doing, like we've been seeing in the video. So I think because he has that freedom, he has the freedom already. So for him to have been told not to go to that certain area, it means it's not good, it's harmful or it's dangerous, and he understands that. So that was the point I was trying to drive earlier on.
Man skal have en pædagog med deroppe fra, inden man går over.
Exactly.
I think
This
one of the
looks
big
like
things
so much
that I
fun.
see
What better way of
is the
learning?
amount of trust that there is in Denmark. That there is no formal inspection of kindergartens. There's no one that comes round and checks up that you're doing what you should be doing.
But how easy is it for parents like Nicola's mother Nadia to trust the pedagogues and their own kids?
I know my sisters, so they can run down to the water. I was like, yeah, but they don't do that. You know, they know where they're allowed to go to. They don't.
You trust them. Do you think a lot of it's based on trust?
A lot.
Yeah, but I must say I'm happy that I'm not down here during the day, because I'm a bit worried when Emil crawls into the top of a tree.
Exactly. No mother will see her kid climbing up the tree and then have a calm mind. Like, I love what she said, that she's glad she's not there during the day to see, but you know, it's easier when you're away, you just hear about these things, and when you see with your actual eyes that what these kids do. So I can relate to that.
So you're happy that you can't see it?
Yeah, I am.
At Nadia's house, I meet her husband, Paul. He's English. Danish forest kindergartens came as a big culture shock.
In England, kids can be harmed in any way, you know, falling out of a tree or something like that. Then they won't allow it.
There are just a handful of forest kindergartens in the UK. The US only opened its first in 2007. Australia 5 years ago.
What do you think it is about Denmark that they can get away with that, but they can't in England?
It's hard to explain. I really don't know what it is about the Danes. It's just a very relaxed frame of mind they've got about things, everything.
One of the main reasons Nadia and Paul have sent both Nicola and her 6-year-old sister Jessica to a forest kindergarten is their fear that the virtual world is distracting the girls from the natural one.
As soon as they come home, all they want to do is play the iPad. That's what they want to do. Well, you know, that worries us that they'll do that. So we try to encourage them to go outside and play more.
Surely not everyone's convinced about the value of an outdoor education. This is Jessica's primary school. I've come here because I thought the teachers might be concerned at how kids from a forest kindergarten struggle to adapt in the classroom.
Do you notice any difference between her and the kids who've come from normal kindergartens?
Not at all. They are all prepared to go to school. My own son went to forest kindergarten.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you never had any worries about how he would go at school with
No,
our children?
not at all.
What do you think about the idea that the children should be using their time in kindergarten to start to learn some reading, some writing, some maths to get ready for school?
I think this is work spoiled because they are not ready. You have to learn them to be interested in learning.
Over the last 20 years, the number of outdoor kindergartens in Denmark has roughly doubled. And now the forest gospel is spreading. Even schools are looking to take the class outdoors.
And now there's a lot of research been done that shows that children are less stressed, that children...
If the numbers of outdoor schools have been doubled, that means they are getting results. If not, they won't be increasing, right? That's what I think. I love this idea of outdoor learning, but considering the security challenges in the country where I come from, in Nigeria, I don't think parents will even like this idea. No parents, personally, I would not support this outdoor learning, especially forest learning, forest kindergartens. I won't support it. I won't like that idea because of the security challenges. Because in Nigeria here, forests are like the hideouts, the place where kidnappers go to hide. Do you understand? So yeah, I can't bear having my kid, knowing that my kid is out there in the forest learning. What kind of learning is that? Whatever learning should be done in the class, because I can't take that risk. It's too much of a risk, if you know what I mean.
Concentrate more, that children are ill less often, that their motor development is far, far better for being outdoors than indoors.
And a lot of teachers is, getting, yes, I can, oh, it works. So I'm happy.
Wow, this was really interesting, and I love this approach to learning. I love it. I absolutely love it. If Nigeria were to be a very safe place like Denmark or Sweden or any of the Scandinavian countries, I would gladly love the idea. I would gladly love my kid to be learning outdoor, because kids learn faster from the things they see and do. When they touch, when they get to touch things, when they get to feel, experience things for themselves. That way, when you're explaining why certain things happen, when you explain certain phenomena about life, it's easier for them to assimilate. It's easier for them to understand. You know, those of us that learned just in classrooms, there are some things, there are some theories that were taught that We don't know why those things happen. We're just told that they happen and that's it. We don't understand the reason behind them. But for children like these that learn from outdoors, you will see that their level of understanding of certain theories or certain phenomena about life is totally different from us, who just sat in the classroom, in the normal classrooms, and learned from theories. Our learnings were not practical. And what better way to learn than being practical? So I think this kids' approach to learning is the best, if you ask me. But because of the security challenges we have in Nigeria, is the reason why I said most parents will not want this. It's not because they feel this outdoor learning, this approach to learning is not good, but because of the security challenges in the country. I don't think any parent in Nigeria would allow such. But it's a very good approach to learning. I love it. Personally, I will encourage it in areas that are safe, in areas that there's no security threat, there's no security challenge. Why not? They can learn outdoor, because children, when they explore, they learn better. And these children, when they get home, I think they'll be really tired, and you see them sleep very, very good. They'll have a very good night's sleep. If at all you have a kid that maybe that has insomnia, that battles with sleep, with this kind of outdoor activity, when the child gets home, you see that the child will sleep peacefully. Do you get? So I think I love it. I love the idea. You guys, what do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, okay? This video was really helpful. I saw that this outdoor learning thing is kind of a Scandinavian thing. Like, it's very common, it's very popular. It's no longer strange to me, because initially when I reacted to the video about the forest schools in Sweden, I was like, wow, it was really strange to me. But with that knowledge, and now I see that it's something that is very common over there, and it's something that has benefited them. If not, there wouldn't be increasing outdoor schools in these countries, right? So thank you guys for watching, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. What do you think about this outdoor learning? Are they better than the indoor learning? Let me hear your thoughts. Let me hear your thoughts in the comments. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time. Bye guys.